This week on ATV News, ABC casts the first Black Bachelorette, National Security Advisor Michael Flynn resigns, and the Earth has a new continent. I'm Mariah Espada.
And I'm Max Aboko.
ATV News starts now. We're usually taught in elementary school that the Earth contains 7 continents. Well, according to the Geological Society of America, there's one more to add to the textbook list: Zealandia. Zealandia is the Earth's new continent that spans almost 2 million square miles. The continent was 94% submerged underwater. However, the 6% that is above water is what we know as New Zealand and New Caledonia. While this is a new phenomenon, the idea of this potential continent has been around for around 2 decades. Scientists have now accumulated enough data to claim it as the world's 8th continent.
The classic board game Monopoly made an announcement this week that they're retiring one of their original pieces. The thimble, a piece that's been part of the board game since 1935, is seeing its final days of being part of the game as Hasbro holds an online petition on which the piece to replace it. There are a total of 64 different options to choose from, ranging from a penguin to a dinosaur to a variety of different types of emojis. While the thimble was announced as being retired, the world is still yet to know what object will replace it. Hasbro will announce the winner of their vote on March 19, 2017, which is also conveniently World Monopoly Day. For the latest in entertainment news, let's go to Chelsea Fosu.
Thanks, Max, and I'm Chelsea Fosu with Entertainment News. The 59th Annual Grammy Awards on Sunday was one not to miss. From Bruno Mars's riveting performance to Chance the Rapper making Grammy history to even host James Corden bringing karaoke carpool to music's biggest stage. This year's Grammy show was eventful at the very least. Bruno Mars honored the late Prince with a tribute performance that manifested all Prince-like qualities, from his very voice to the purple sequin jacket Mars rocked out in during the tribute. Chance the Rapper, who has built a reputation of remaining unsigned to any record label while still gaining success, became the first artist to win a Grammy without selling his music. The Chicago native's 3 wins definitely breaks industry norms, while glorifying the fact that traditional is not necessary. In triumph, Chance stated, "This is for every indie artist," after receiving his Best Rap Album of the Year award. If this isn't inspiring, I don't know what is. Music's biggest night would not be complete if music's biggest artist did not take the stage. After recently breaking the internet with the announcement of her pregnancy, Queen Bee did not disappoint fans with her ethereal performance that had all of us on the edge of our seats. But the true winner was Adele. The new mother stopped her entire performance and restarted to properly honor the late George Michael during her tribute. And let's not forget that Adele took home 5 Grammys to add to her new collection of 15, 3 out of the 5 being Album, Record, and Song of the Year. However, Adele celebrated Beyoncé during her own acceptance speeches with praise and admiration. And now on to reality TV. After 16 years and 33 seasons, ABC has finally chosen a Black woman as its Bachelorette. The rather early announcement of 31-year-old Rachel Lindsay becoming the new lead sparked excitement and frenzy within the show's fan base. The question raised now is, how and why has it taken so long for this to occur? I'm Chelsea Fosu, and this has been Entertainment News. Back to you, Max and Mariah.
Thanks, Chelsea.
The Grammys is such an exciting time, especially Chance the Rapper's victory, winning a Grammy without being signed to a label. It's a big deal.
I've been a fan of Chance the Rapper for a long time, and seeing his success is honestly makes me happiest. I'm just really happy that he's able to come this far for success.
Yeah, mind blown. Many students were left disappointed this past week when Columbia University mistakenly sent 277 application letters to the wrong prospective students. An hour after the congratulatory emails were received, those students received another notification informing them that their acceptance was in fact in error. Columbia University is not alone in this mishap. In fact, in past years, other respectable universities, including Tulane, Carnegie Mellon, and Fordham, have made the same exact mistake. Unfortunately for these students, this experience has made the college application process that much more frightening. Now let's go to politics with Elise Metcalf.
Thanks, Mariah. Welcome to ATV Politics. I'm Elise Metcalf. It's been a busy week for politics, with the new administration ending its first month in office amidst a host of controversies. Monday night saw Michael Flynn resign from his newly appointed position of National Security Advisor amidst allegations regarding his ties with Russia. Evidence came to light revealing he had misled top White House officials as conversations with a Russian ambassador to the United States just weeks before President Trump's inauguration. His resignation sparks fresh controversy about the new administration's relationship with Russia and what this means for US security. Vice Admiral Robert Howard rejected Trump's offer to be nominated as replacement. Israel's President Netanyahu visited the White House Wednesday, the first visit since Trump has taken office. Casting doubt over 2 decades of diplomatic norms, the president withheld from insisting on a two-state solution between Israel and Palestine. He stated, "Looking at one state and I'm looking at 2 states, and I like the one that both parties like. I can live with either one." On Thursday, Trump held a contentious news conference in which he clashed with the news media and defended his actions in office up to this point. He said that he had inherited a mess and made bold references to fake media and bad reporting. Thursday also saw political activism in major cities across the US, with a Day Without Immigrants strike taking place in response to the recently imposed travel ban. Notable restaurants in DC, such as Busboys and Poets and Sweet Green, closed their doors for the day to mark the importance of immigrants in the United States and express unity for their cause. That's it this week for Politics. For ATV News, I'm Elise Metcalf. Back to Max and Mariah.
I don't know about you, Mariah, but ever since the election of Donald Trump, I've been scared to look at my phone because every time I look at it, I get a new news alert about something going on. There's so much going on in politics and world news, it's just crazy.
I couldn't agree more, Max, and it's a really interesting time for journalism now, considering the fake news and alternative facts that are going on, so this next month should be really interesting.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Google CEO Sundar Pichai was in the news last week after responding to a 7-year-old girl's letter seeking interest in a position at Google. Chloe Bridgewater from Hereford, England, hand-wrote the letter and started it by saying that when she's bigger, she wants a job with Google and she would also like to work in a chocolate factory and swim in the Olympics. The Google CEO responded, "Hopefully, I think that if you keep working hard and follow your dreams, you can accomplish anything you set your mind to, from working at Google to swimming in the Olympics." He finished by saying, "I look forward to receiving your job application when you are finished with school."
Now we go to sports with Corey Flax.
Thanks, Mariah. I'm Corey Flax with this week's Sports Report. Tonight, the NBA's best and brightest will meet for the 66th annual All-Star Game. Originally, this year's game was supposed to be played in Charlotte, North Carolina, but because of the controversy over House Bill 2, the NBA moved the game to New Orleans. As usual, the best of the East and West will be taking place. The East leads the all-time series 37-18. There is some drama in this year's game. Since leaving Oklahoma City for the already star-studded Golden State Warriors, Kevin Durant and former teammate Russell Westbrook have had a feud that has now gone public. It will be interesting to see if the two can play together on the West squad as well as they did when they led the Thunder to 6 playoff appearances in 8 seasons. The long wait for baseball fans is in its final stretch. Pitchers, catchers, and position players report to spring training this week. Our hometown Washington Nationals have high expectations as they begin spring training in West Palm Beach, Florida. Team leaders, including last year's Cy Young winner Max Scherzer, as well as former MVP Bryce Harper, who returns for his 6th season despite only being 24 years old. The Nats open the regular season again on April 3rd against the Miami Marlins at Nats Park. The Wizards' stunning recent success seems to be somewhat permanent rather than just a mid-season surge, as they had a record of 3-0 this past week. Most recently, they took down the Indiana Pacers on Thursday night in Indiana, 111-98. Former Georgetown Hoya Otto Porter Jr. led the team to victory with 25 points and 8 boards. Originally considered to be a draft bust, Porter has really developed into a reliable small forward, filling the void the Wizards felt when star Paul Pierce left. Regarding our American University Eagles, the boys basketball team fell to the Leopards of Lafayette 78-65, while our girls squad easily defeated the Lafayette women 75-45. That's it for sports. I'm Corey Flax. Back to Mariah and Max in the studio.
Thanks, Corey. You know, I always find all-star games like this that we see here so interesting because you're always able to combine like all the best players from the entire league and put them into one game. I think it really demonstrates like the athleticism that we have as a nation, honestly, I'd say.
I completely agree, Max, and I think what's great about sports is that we have sports at our own AU campus, and talking about basketball and all the things that are going on here, sports is huge here, and it's really exciting.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Actor Ashton Kutcher used his platform to combat human trafficking this past week in Congress. Kutcher co-founded the international anti-human trafficking organization, Thorn, Digital Defenders of Children, an organization that uses software to end slavery. During his 15-minute testimony, Kutcher emphasized that a modern-day slavery exists and that using technology is the appropriate tool to end it. He recalled the story of 15-year-old Amy, a girl from Oakland that was forced into trafficking hours after meeting a stranger online. The actor-turned-activist claims he will continue to fight and protect these vulnerable individuals.
During this Trump era, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg is using the social media platform as a means to express his outrage on the dangers of isolationism. He shared his vision for a global community in an open letter on his Facebook page, where he lobbies for a new world order. Zuckerberg emphasized a need to utilize engaged leaders, artificial intelligence, decentralized news, and more. His overall message was to encourage all to think less independently and instead consider the greater global good.
For this week's finance report, we turn to Radai Sarkar.
Thanks, Mariah. I'm Rudy Sarkar with this week's finance report. Household debt has been nearing 2008 levels according to a quarterly report on household debt and credit recently released by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. Total household debt has gone up by $460 billion over the last year, the largest increase in almost a decade. However, the National Federation of Independent Businesses Small Business Optimism Index is at the highest level since 2004, which can be attributed to small business owners having confidence in President Donald Trump's economic agenda in hopes of creating more favorable business conditions in coming months. Meanwhile, the Dow, S&P 500, and Nasdaq soared to record highs on Wednesday. This is the first time that all three major market averages have achieved that feat in 25 years. In other finance news, the U.S. food and beverage maker Kraft Heinz has announced a $143 billion takeover bid for the UK company Unilever this week. This would be the biggest U.S. acquisition of a foreign company and the largest in the consumer goods sector. However, Unilever has rejected the proposed merger, saying in a statement that the offer is undervalued. Still, Unilever shares went up more than 9% on Friday. Kraft Heinz has since released a statement saying it will not be backing down from the merger pursuit and hopes to reach an agreement on the terms of a transaction in the future. And that does it for this week in finance. For ATV News, I'm Rudy Sarkar. Now back to Mariah and Max in the studio.
Thanks, Rudy.
You know, I do notice that there is a lot of confidence in small businesses recently with the election of President Donald Trump. I mean, like Rudy said, she stated that because he is so focused on small business and improving the economy, I guess there's a reason why they think that. You know?
Yeah, it's really important to look at all the different sectors that are going on in politics right now, and thinking about marketing and finances, it's really important as well.
The economy is very tightly linked.
Absolutely. Now let's see what's happening around the world with Chelsea Smart.
Thanks, Mariah. I'm Chelsea Smart, and this is your World Update. Worshippers are returning to a shrine in Pakistan less than a day after a ritual was interrupted by a deadly blast. Hundreds of Sufis gathered in the Sahwan region to clean the scene and continue the ceremony. ISIL militants targeted the event on Thursday. The attack killed 88 and injured more than 300. France's president made an unusual visit in a plea for peace after 2 weeks of protests in Paris. French President François Hollande called for an end to rioting in a low-income housing community, largely made up of African and Arab immigrants. The often violent demonstrations began after French police allegedly raped a 22-year-old black man in the Paris suburbs. The visit is the French government's latest attempt to address the tension over structural racism and police violence. Malaysian authorities are arresting suspects in the mysterious murder of a North Korean defector. Kim Jong-un's estranged half-brother died on Monday after being sprayed with a fast-acting poison in an airport waiting area. Nam has publicly criticized his brother's regime and had expressed fears for his safety. 3 suspects have been arrested. 2 investigative journalists are dead after being shot mid-broadcast in the Dominican Republic. Attackers broke into the studio and shot radio host Luis Manuel Mandina while he was reading the day's news. The shooting was captured on 103.5 FM's Facebook live stream. Another journalist was killed in his office moments later. 3 suspects have been arrested, but no charges have been filed. That's it for your world news. I'm Chelsea. Back to Mariah and Max in the studio.
Thanks, Chelsea.
You know, it's so sad to think about the fact that journalists really are sacrificing their lives to really tell these stories, and that story is just really tragic.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, being here in the United States, I mean, we have the luxury of being able to, freedom of the press, the First Amendment, like those luxuries, I think, are very important, and I'm so glad that we can have those.
Absolutely.
Trump's election into office has affected many aspects of life, but who knew it would be tapping into your love life as well? According to a survey taken by coffee and bagel users, a majority of singles say politics are impacting their love lives. Online dating has skyrocketed 35%, and many believe this is because a person's political view matters more now than ever. Before, the study stated 80% of Democrats said it's more important that my match's political views are similar to mine, while 22% of Republicans find it necessary to talk about politics on the first date. So ladies and gents, don't be surprised if who you checked off on your voting ballot is affecting that love life of yours. Now for our weather report, we go to Nadia Slocum.
Thanks, Max. I'm Nadia Slocum with this week's weather forecast. The weather this past week was on the mild side, with temperatures ranging from 54 degrees last Sunday to a high of 50 degrees yesterday. For all of you hoping for snow, you're gonna be disappointed this week. We are not expecting any snow, nor any cold winter weather. Temperatures are expected to range in the 60s all this week. Today is going to be a high of 69 degrees, and into the late afternoon, the temperature will drop to a low of 50 degrees, with a slight chance of rain. Monday should be a beautiful high of 61 and a low of 33 degrees. As far as the sky is concerned, expect some cloudy days for most of the week, and some showers towards Saturday and Sunday. If you were able to avoid the wind tunnels on the quad this week, then it must have been out of pure luck. Thankfully, in addition to the warm winter weather coming up this week, we will not be experiencing the same strong wind gusts from last week. We will only experience slight wind gusts between 8 to 12 miles per hour. Enjoy this weather while it lasts, because we never know what type of weather we could get next week. That's all for weather. I'm Nadia Slocum, and back to the studio with Max and Mariah.
Thanks, Nadia. I must admit, I would love another snowpocalypse, but I'm really looking forward to some good weather coming up.
Yeah. I definitely am not a fan of the cold, so any warm weather coming our way is definitely welcome by me.
Right. A 64-year-old woman gave birth to twins in Burgos, Spain this past Tuesday. This, however, isn't the first time she had a non-conventional pregnancy. The woman, who's only being identified by the initials MIA, gave birth to her first child 6 years ago at the age of 58. Pregnancy post-age 50 is usually rare, but apparently not impossible. Celebrities like Janet Jackson proved this last year when giving birth to her first child at the age of 50. According to a news release, MIA gave birth via C-section to a boy and a girl. All 3 patients are in perfect health. For the latest in campus news, we turn to Tristan Brown and Mowal Sidi.
Thanks, Mariah, and I'm Tristan Brown.
And I'm Mowal Sidi.
And this is What's Up AU. American University's alumni is hosting Being LGBTQ in the Workplace on Tuesday, February 28th from 6 to 8 p.m. in MGC 335. Join AU's professional development team and gain advice and insight on job searching and career planning. Explore the best ways to be your authentic self in the workplace.
American University's annual Eagle-thon is a fun and interactive fundraising program that includes a puppy kissing booth, dinner at Beefsteak, and a mobile blood drive. The event began with a 12-hour dance marathon and continues throughout the week with different fundraisers on the quad. The Eagle-thon proceeds go to benefiting Children's National.
The refugee crisis and our response will be held on Tuesday, February 21st from noon to 1 p.m. in the K Spiritual Life Center Lounge. Panel guests include SAS professor Tajrina Shajad, AU student and director of partnerships for No Lost Generation Camille Torres, and director of Civil Rights General Board of Church and Society of the United Methodist Church, Jania Remore. If interested, please RSVP at kslc@american.edu or at 202-885-3321.
This week is Housing and Dining Program Student Staff Appreciation Week. AU is recognizing the hard work of the staff by celebrating this upcoming Monday to Friday. The university would like us to remember how vital the work of resident assistant, desk receptionist, and maintenance crew are. You're encouraged to recognize student staff via notes, emails, and simple thank you messages.
That's it for What's Up AU. Back to Mariah and Max.
Thanks, Tristan and Mowal.
It's super exciting to see all the things that are going on campus at AU, and I think it's really great that we're doing an appreciation week. So if you see anyone around campus, staff especially, working hard, be sure to say thank you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Giving thanks is always a good thing to do. That's it for ATV News this week. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Max Aboko.
And I'm Mariah Espada. Thanks for watching.